email address over here, and then obviously the SMTP host, which you can find in over the internet. If you can do a little bit of like recon, you can understand what this particular organization is using, whether it's going to be Zoho, whether it's using Outlook, whether it's using G Suite and all. So at that point, you can simply give the host address over here, and then sorry, those hosts. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, the host address is like your subdomain. For example, I have accountsign.com. So we will be giving up the cPanel details, saying this is the cPanel hosting. So the hosting provider would give you all these details, and then you will have to type in your email address and then the password, and you can simply add it. So you can also try to send out a test email. But however, to save enough time, what we have done over here is I have already added an email address. This is my email address currently over here. So I have added my email address. So obviously the name would be the from will be from TwinTech Solutions, and we also have the host address that would be the smtp.gmail.com. That's my personal one. And later on, then obviously after the email, you're setting up the email gateway, then you need a landing page. So this particular landing page will be able to capture all the credentials of whatever the user is going to do it. So we have also done certain landing pages over here. I will be happy to show it. At the same time, I will also tell you certain things where we can do it as well. So when it comes, we primarily will be going through LinkedIn. Like we already have a LinkedIn page over here. Like if you just click on the small lens button, you'll be able to see how the landing page is going to look. So that's LinkedIn's landing page currently. So everything is set. Like even if you want to do a new one, for example, let's consider like gmail.com. Let's give it the name as Gmail, and let's look for like gmail.com. I hope I haven't signed into anything. That's great. So let's use
Sorry,
another account.
sorry to interrupt, but your screen is not displaying.
Is it displaying now?
I can see
Yes, it's
your
not.
sharing. That
Okay.
might have some problem with his account or with his login. He might have to leave and join again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So over here, like we have the sign in page over here. So what you could do is you can simply copy it and you can go back to the import site, and there you have the URL over here. So once you put your URL over here, and if you just simply click on import, it's going to do everything, and everything will be automated over here. You can see the page where the person needs to enter his email address or his telephone number and other things. And then when you come back to the capture, like you can also click on capture submitted data and capture the passwords. And simply obviously once that particular person tries to once he puts into all his credentials, we don't want to leave him, we don't want him to be skeptical why I am not taking to my Gmail address or to my LinkedIn account. Instead you can simply navigate him back again to the real account. So that's where the redirects are really good. So once you save this page, I'm not going to do that currently. So once I save this page, so obviously everything is good to go. We have the sending profile, we have the landing page at the same time. Now we need to have an email template. So at this point of time, you can also click on like your email template, and please be aware, if you are trying to use, we already have a LinkedIn over here. So let me show you how it looks like. So you can see TwinTech Solutions would like to connect on LinkedIn. How would you like to respond? So obviously the person is going to confirm, TwinTech Solutions, and since the images are not displayed because I have left it out, and so if you want to create a similar one, what we usually tend to do is we usually go up to a Gmail address. We usually try to reset our passwords and other things, and then we just copy paste. If you look at any specific, we don't have an email address format, but if you click on over here, in your Gmail account, you'll be having something known as show original. So over there at the bottom, you just have to simply copy paste it over the import email function over here. So this way, what happens is you'll get a very nice one, like how exactly the email template will be looking like, which people you want to send it to. And then comes like users and group. Users and group is nothing but like who are all the people you are targeting. For example, when it comes to organization point of view, I want to target all my tier 1 employees to make sure whether they are aware about the security awareness during this particular session. So let me create a group like saying they are all like tier 1 employees. I can also import it using CSV files. At the same time, if I want to do it like for very particular just like 5 or 10 people, you can also give their first name, last name, the email address, and their question as well. So this is a good one. We have already created it over here, and we have like certain people over here. We have Chandresh Gupta, we have Lindley Brown, we have Vilayam Salvaraj as well. That's me. And Chandresh will be joining you guys shortly on the advanced techniques, like how to combine these techniques. We already have a new group. Okay, now let's do a quick campaign over here. So what we are going to do over here is like we have already created a campaign, but still I want you guys to look over here. Uh, so once you click on this new campaign, give me 1 minute. Sure. Okay, so let me give it a random name like tier one, and the template currently I'm going to use is LinkedIn, and the landing page is also LinkedIn, and the URL. This is the listener URL. So this particular listener URL will be the same domain name over here. If you don't keep this over here, obviously the person won't get the landing page. At the same time, you won't be able to get the read receipts and the clicking receipts and other stuff. So then like I will also select the group, that's TwinTech, and I just have to simply launch the campaign. So after the launching the campaign, obviously the user is going to get the emails, and like the user is going to get the emails, and obviously he's going to read it and then click on it. And always make sure like your emails are very convincing. We have already created it for the LinkedIn. So over here, if you just look closely, we see 3 emails sent, 2 opened, and 2 clicked. So over here, usually what the pen testers try to do is they usually go for this directly. But what we would suggest when it comes to an organization point of view, what we will be looking over here is the links that are clicked. We are not concerned about the emails open. We are concerned about the links that are clicked. The reason behind it, even if you open the email, that's totally fine with us. If you find it suspicious, like that's too fine with us. But the thing is, like either if that particular person didn't contact that particular, I think like can everyone go on mute? I hear a lot of noise. So over here, okay, that's right. Like we are very much concerned when it comes to a phishing campaign, which we tend to do to organizations around the globe. We will be looking at the clicked links, and also we'll also be seeing whether these emails were reported or not, and who are these two people who reported it, whether these two people at least reported it. If they haven't reported it, and these two people will be falling under the security awareness program. It's not just about this one person who gave out all the details. It's about the two people who clicked on it, but they never reported it. So this is where these are the two things we'll be primarily looking on an organization point of view, and this will help you as a penetration tester to know why we are doing a phishing campaign over here. And another thing, okay, so we have one submitted data, and that was Chandresh. So let's go over here. Okay, we can see he opened his email on 427. The link, or another like 5 minutes after, he clicked on the link, and again he tried to open and tried to click on the link, and he used like a Linux version, what the 64-bit operating system, and we can also see the exact version of the Chrome. And again, this particular person also tried to use it on a Windows version, that's Windows 10, and I can see like using a Firefox version 75. And I can also see he was successfully able to submit the details, and I can also see his password over here. That's tested123 hash, and the email address will be chandresh@twintechsolution.com. So obviously when we are like trying to see it on a red teamer perspective, how this is
Okay,
going to help.
does it give all the information or the password details and everything?
Yes, it does. You will be able to capture data, but the thing is, I'm just trying to tell the difference between how an organization point of view and like how you see it from a penetration tester's point of view.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you again and again. So would
Mhm.
that be okay if I ask question within the session, or like we will have a different session, or we will have a question and answer session later on?
Yeah, we will definitely have a question and answers at the last, so that would be great if you can note it down. But yes, that's fine. Like, is certain things like needs to be asked very much over
Yeah,
here. It's fine.
thank you.
No. So over here, we also got this password. So certain times as a red team, we will need these particular access to these emails only to perform a lateral movement. For example, like a privilege escalation, I want to compromise this particular person. Only then I would be able to get into certain assets and do certain pen testing and report it to the organization. So at that point of time, capturing the passwords is quite okay. But other than that, I don't think that's very much needed. At the same time, we also have a very nice option on GoFish that's like replay credentials. So over here, I can simply like, since I know like it's from LinkedIn, I can simply type like linkedin.com and click on OK. So obviously what happens over here is like these particular credentials will be tried against this particular the real website over here. But however, it isn't working at the moment. I'm quite not sure why, but that should be working. So you should be able to understand whether like you got the successful login to it. Mm, so, so there is a difference between like a kingfisher, the goldfish. Why we wanted to show you the goldfish, the first thing. And yeah, I think like I'm going to hand over. Is there any questions still over here?
See, I have one question.
Yep.
How secure this GoFish is? Like, and who's responsible for the security? It's an open source tool?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can have this, and anyone can manipulate this. So how
Mm-hmm.
secure it is?
Okay. If you are worried about this particular tool to be hosted on the cloud platform and showing it to others, like I can see like how good it is. Like I don't think it is advisable to be hosting on a cloud platform. Instead, like what you could do is you can host it on your local machine as well, because the sending profiles over here requires the just your Gmail credentials. So you can host it on a local machine itself. It just has only internet connection, and you can simply like write all the rules for the firewall just to allow specific to your IP address.
Okay, does it require any specific port to be open onto the internet? Like, because why I'm asking here is like, see, if I open some port for this particular application to be
Mhm.
accessed from outside internet, and if I open some, so, some vulnerability
Yes.
for my system, so
Mhm.
would that be a risk?
Okay. For example, usually phishing campaigns happen within the organization, so obviously, like you don't need to port forward it. Yes, like when it comes to security point of view, yes, you will have to open port 80 as well as 3333. So at this point, what you could do is you could restrict the 3334 specific to your public IP address or to your private IP address. If it is going to be within your organization, the private IP address. If it is going to be like hosted on the cloud, you can restrict it specific to your IP address.
Thank you.
So moving forward, like Mr.
Does it
Chandresh
have
would be
any
take.
functionality? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sorry,
Does it have any functionality to automate 2FA,
automate.
MFA or 2FA?
Multi-factor authentication. No, we don't have such tools. But however, like if you want to fish credentials on multi-factor authentication, you have Evil Jinx. Evil Jinx works fine.
Thank you.
So,
Hello, sir. Hello. Sorry
yes.
to interrupt.
Yep.
Sir, is ID and homograph attacks is possible using this particular tool? Like,
Okay. Okay. I see. That is the reason I was holding on all the questions at the last, because the next
okay,
session taken by Mr. Chandresh Gupta, you will be like able to weaponize this particular tool into much more effective way. Because I'm just telling you the basics over here, but however, Chandresh would be assisting you guys because he has n number of experience on this particular kind of tools. Just give me one. Chandresh, would you like to take over this particular presentation?
Yeah. So thank you, Vilayadam, for the previous interactive session on how we can use GoFish and like weaponize phishing for the organization stand of point of view. But as you might have all seen that in the GoFish there are some limitations, like your URL seems to be not linked in, or it's nowhere connected to LinkedIn. It is completely a different URL. Like we had account hyphen signin.com. So my today's topic is basically bunny code phishing. So before that, let me start my screen. Just a second. I hope the screen is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So first of all, we need to understand what Pani code is, how the URL structures work, and something similar to Pani code is known as the ID and homograph attacks, and how we can use these on the phishing links as well. So first of all, we have the how URLs work. So on our basic understanding that whenever you type a URL, it goes to the DNS server and the DNS server responds back with an IP address. But we never knew that these URLs are even in ASCII format. You can implement Unicode URLs as well, but generally what we go for is an ASCII format of the URL. So like currently we have an example paytm.com and a paytm.com with a Unicode A. So if I like quickly switch on my tab, so this is a URL from, or basically the ASCII version of the Unicode URL. So xn hyphen hyphen ptm hyphen gr5a.com. That is a Panicode URL which would redirect you to this URL itself that we have is the paytm.com. So if I input that as well, you can see I am redirected to that URL. So on browsers like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, this would show you up as the same Unicode URL that we have in this format. Whereas I would suggest go for Microsoft Edge, because in Microsoft Edge you get the Unicode not in the Unicode format but as well as in the ASCII format itself. So this is again can be a way to safeguard on yourself, which we would be covering on the later portions. But just a quick like safeguarding point which I found was very interesting from the other browsers. I know being from the security industry, we never liked Microsoft Edge, but this is a feature that I really liked from my end because it showed me the URL in the ASCII format itself. It didn't go for any of those Unicode characters and displayed me the URL in that particular format. Okay, so this is basically how the URL functions. So like Punycode is basically a URL which can have any Unicode characters on the dictionary or like the languages we have. So it is not always in the ASCII format. You can have any Unicode character that you want. If you want a URL to be in like Tamil font, you can go and register that as well. If you want it to be in Hindi font, you can go and register for that as well. You want it to be in certain other language, you can go and register for that as well. Whatever Unicode character you want, you can register your URL in that format. So that is basically how Punycodes work. When you register URLs in the form of Unicodes rather than just the ASCII characters. Now, related to this Punycode, we have the IDN homograph attacks as well. So how does it differ from the Punycode is basically like instead of going for any Unicode character, we still go for the Unicode character, but which is similar looking to the English alphabets. So like the Greek letter P. So that is something which looks exactly similar to the normal English alphabet P. So this is something which we have. Sorry. So like before this, let me do a simple quick Google search. Okay, so as you can see, we have almost like 4 crores of search results. But when I change this, our Greek alphabet of the P, it goes down to 102 results. So as you can see, nothing changed. Only a Unicode character, which is a Greek alphabet known as Rho and written similar to the English letter as P, came down or gave a result which is quite less than what the original result was. So say suppose the URL that you received on your end had not a account -sign.com or anything like that. Instead, it had the ptm.com itself. Would you click on it? I hope yes, because just with a naked eye, understanding these characters is not quite possible. You might just like have a like what can I say? Even you might be misunderstood no matter how good you are with the Unicode characters or like not clicking on any links. But still, this is a way which we red teamers can use it to like fool you around as well. So that is or this basically gives us as to what my Punycode character is. Oops. Yeah. So this is how the IDN homograph attacks. Like it is not just limited to the Greek alphabets. You can have Latin characters, Cyrillic characters, different kinds of characters can be used. So now comes the point as to like how you can safeguard yourselves. So like as a general concept is said, do not click on any links that you receive on the mail. But like it's not always possible to not click on a link. Say suppose your boss is giving you a mail or you are receiving a mail from your email ID of your boss, would you not click on it? You would definitely go for it. Even like when I received this GoFish mail from my boss's email ID, I had to click on it because I was like, I cannot simply deny his LinkedIn request, even though we are already connected by his personal profile, but not with the company's profile. If I had received a request, I would have definitely clicked. Or even if you received, you would be definitely clicking for it. Even like to keep your job, you cannot just simply deny that request, or you cannot like simply forget that email. So how do you safeguard yourselves? So I hope the command prompt is visible.
No, Chandresh.
No, it's not.
Okay, just give me a second. Yeah, is it now visible?
Yeah.
Okay, so like what you can do is say suppose you received this particular link itself, like the one with this ptm.com. can do is you can simply do a NS lookup. If you're on like Windows machine, you can simply do a NS lookup. If you're on a Linux machine, you can go with dig, host. Various tools are there on the Linux platform. On Linux, you can simply do the NS lookup. So NS lookup, paytm.com on our DNS servers is nothing available. Let me check with the global DNS servers, nothing on there as well. Okay, so let's see if this works. Yeah, this works. So like you can definitely go for NS lookup with this. And what are the things that you can do is you can simply go for you are like extension that we have in Chrome and Firefox is by the name of no ID and homograph. So this is basically an extension which you can use it. So like you can have an extension Unicode or ID and homograph which would help you in identifying the Unicode characters and anything that is not on the ASCII characters. So this is a way through which you can like have a or you can like simply escalate your phishing campaigns to a much more higher level. Like if you are using ID and homograph attacks, people are or people will definitely fall for that attack because it is like you're using a character which is exactly similar to the one that is already there and is similar looking to the ASCII format that we are generally seeing on our daily format. So you can go with these kind of attacks along with your phishing links so that you would be able to create a much more better looking phishing attack. So that was from a red teamer's point of view. Now from an organization's point of view, like how do you safeguard yourselves or how you can like prevent your employees from clicking on these links. So the first and the foremost thing that is necessary is like no matter what, never click on the links, be it your boss, be it your colleague, be it your crush, anyone. Even if they are asking to connect you on any of the websites, don't directly visit that website. Say suppose you are receiving email to connect on LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn. They would have definitely, if they would really wanted to connect, there would be an invitation pending on your profile. If it is asking you to visit any website or anything, never click on those links. So this is like a point at which comes in very important factor like awareness of the employees. So you have to be very careful when these attacks occur, and you have to teach your employees each and every day because during this COVID-19 lockdown, everyone of us is working from home. And whenever we work from home, we don't generally tend to look for the like security aspects. So we tend to neglect that. So awareness is a factor which you can definitely implement and keep on aware, like teaching your employees not to click on any of the links. So that would be all from the explanation and the demo point. If you have your questions, I'm open to the questions now. I would love to answer them.
Thank you, Chandresh. That was good.
Sorry.
Hey, thank you.
I said thank you, Chandresh. It was a good.
Okay, do you have any other questions to Chandresh as well as myself, like what you learned from GoFish and funny code fishing and the homograph attacks? All right, so the next topic we will be continuing with. Okay, so when Chandresh showed you, like it didn't redirect you to the Paytm, right? But however, if you look at my screen over here, you can see a small dot at the top of it. And currently, I am running Mac OS X Catalina. That's the latest operating system with all the updates on mine. But still, you can see the Safari browser is able to like show it as Paytm.com. However, this is an image because we don't want the hosting guys to come back at us telling like your account is banned. So that is the reason we just kept it as a, like an image kind of thing. But at the same time, I just wanted to show it over here. Like when it comes to this particular Firefox, it works for me because obviously Chandesh was working from his Linux machine. I'm working on my Mac OS machine with this particular version that's 60.6.3 and it's a ES relation, ES release as well. So obviously now you can understand. So obviously you can also combine the Paytm to the Crowfish over here. So obviously the attack has a higher range of success. So next thing, like what you will be doing over here. Right? Okay, so yeah, done with this. So let's now go back to the IVR phishing. Okay, IVR is nothing but the interactive voice response. Is my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, now we
Only the
can.
mouse cursor on the black screen is visible.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sir.
now it's
Okay.
visible.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So IVR is nothing but like interactive voice response. So what happens over here is like you press all these numbers in a layman terms. You press these numbers. You are taken to that particular concerned department, and then you are connected to that particular person. When it comes to this European countries, I have seen I was able to reset my ATM pin as well as like I can also change my phone numbers to the IVR at the moment in the European countries. Even like when it comes to India, specifically to our country, you will be like you don't have to like you just have to call from your specific number, and obviously like obviously you will be getting. Obviously you'll be getting like you'll be able to know that particular person's bank account balance only through his phone number. Okay, so how does our IVR work over here? So IVR works on DTMF tones. DTMF is nothing but dual tone multi-frequency. So what exactly is we have like all from 1 to 0 as well as we have a star, asterisk and the hash key. So obviously each and every key over here has a different unique sound that works in hertz frequencies. So if you look at like if you try to press 1 and 2, you should be able to, but however like you won't be able to see much difference, but however there is a difference, and that is why the IVRs are able to pick up through the DTMF tones. So we came up with an idea, myself and there was another person known as Praveen. So we all came up with a method, like why not weaponize this? Because during I'm not sure about the year. I think it should be 2004 or 2009. 2004 or 2009, like actually what people in Black Hat, the Black Hat is a famous community for all the penetration testers. So I'm not sure whether it's 2004 or 2009. What they did was they were able to come up with a method how to extract credentials using the PBX phones. So normally the IVR works using the PBX phones, but currently we have highly other methods like video, you have Venmo, and other providers who provide you all these IVR tools. So we took up Twilio, we were looking at the source code, and what we did was we weaponized it so that we would be able to use it on the red team uh, during the red team operations. So what we wanted to do is we want to get some credentials, for example, the OTPs, like or the two-step 2FA tokens, other things and all. So at the same time, I have why we do it? Because the response time is fast, because everyone picks up a call. Okay, so that is the reason. And another thing I wanted to bring it over your attention over here is even recently, like I said, the Cognizant has been suffering the uh, phishing scenario currently affected by the Maze ransomware. Also, there is another thing which is going on, that is like they are suffering from phishing attack. Phishing is like you call the person, you try to extract certain information from that particular person. So obviously, like you can, like all the Tamil Nadu police as well as the Indian government has taken steps uh, uh, providing awareness to people not to give out the credentials to any person who even if that person is going to represent, say, hey boss, I'm calling from the bank. But what if the IVR is going to call it and the person is not going to tell it, hey boss, my current credit card number is 1234567 what if that particular person is going to simply punch in the number on his the smartphone, as well as whatever the phone he has, even the traditional phones like Nokia 1100, 6600 phones as well. Will we be able to capture it? Yes, we will be able to do it. So that is even the CTO, CSOs like me, even we might fall for it. The reason behind it is because the IVS phishing was like a traditional method and no one bothers about it. But however, those are like very complicated scenarios. Even I know a company over there in France. What they did was they were I think I'm not sure about the bank's name. That was one of the Indian bank. They gave an option to reset your ATM pin using the IVR. Like, only thing you need to do is you just have to call them and you just have to present your four-digit last 4 or 6 digits of your credit card number. And then obviously once you present it, obviously it will give you an option to reset your ATM card pin. So over here, what these guys did was they spoofed that particular guy's phone, and then later on, what they did was they were able to brute force these TTM tones, because obviously a four digit can be cracked around below 2 minutes using a normal desktop that is running with P4 and 1 GB of RAM. So obviously the same 6 digits can be cracked below 2 minutes. They were able to crack it and they were able to reset it, and then they contacted the bank and told them about lots of vulnerabilities. And okay, now back to the IVR phishing. Let's go look at this particular demo over here. Okay, I don't think, I'm not sure why it isn't playing. So the thing is, we already uploaded this particular demo and also the source code. If you guys are interested into red teaming and you are performing red teaming, or you want to get into a red team kind of scenario, what you could do is you could simply look at it. Guys, could you please tell me whether the audio is audible to you?
Yeah, it's audible.
So over here, we have the Python tool ivfish.py. So what it does is it directly contacts with the Twilio websites, and we have already set up a webhook over there. And here we have this particular tool running currently, and we also used ng. Are you guys able to hear that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
great. Because I am on the headphone, so I just wanted to make sure. All right. So over here, the victim is calling the particular concern number, and the concern number is going to take him through a IVR saying, hey boss, like we see, we can see like there is like some amount of charges on your bank account. So would you like to accept or decline? Even if that particular person is going to click on accept or decline, he will be asked to verify saying, hey boss, could you please provide your 16-digit credit card number? You just have to punch it on your phone. So this way, what we are doing is like the obviously the person is not going to be skeptical, because everyone's mindset is like, yeah, I'm just typing it on my phone. So obviously this particular response is going to match with the computers and no one will be able to look at the particular response. But however, we will be able to capture it.
The audio is very low and it is in ununderstandable language or like format, but still that's okay. We can understand the consent, like the matter. That's okay.
No, all right. Let me see whether I can increase the volume. So over here, again, the IVR is giving them a confirmation. Okay. Again, again, the IVR is giving them a confirmation saying no one from the bank will ask you for the 16-digit credit card number, but still, this wants to type in all their credit card information. Digit debit card number. To cancel your order, please enter your 16-digit credit card number followed by hash after the beep. Please enter your card expiry details in month and year format followed by hash. Please enter your CVV number for final check followed by hash. Thank you for canceling the transaction. Your request will be processed soon and someone from the bank will be contacting you back to secure your account. So after the last minute, like you can see, it also said, hey boss, like someone from the bank is going to call you. That's because you have declined the transaction. So this way, it's assuring that the victim whom we are the target whom we are pen testing, saying like, hey boss, don't worry, someone is going to get in touch with you. So at this point, like that person is going to be okay. And over here, like if you look at this particular screen, if you can look at a specific thing known as the digits over here, you can see the credit card information and the also the CVV information, also the date of sorry, the month and the year of the particular credit card. So the same way, like when it comes to our red team operations, what we can do over here is in case there are some two-step 2FA verifications. Obviously, this particular person is not going to fall for this because we do a little bit of cyber profiling before we are going to do the pen testing or the phishing campaign against certain high-value targets. So what we tend to do is we do a little bit of cyber profiling. We will understand this guy will definitely not read his emails, and obviously also like he has a very good email firewall present over there, which will be very strict. And this particular person will not even if you are going to set up email over here, it won't reach it. So at this point of time, what we can do over here is we can simply set up this IVR phishing and we will be able to successfully compromise that particular target. But do remember, this particular IVR phishing works for only numerics, not for alphanumerics. So even if you want to get any password like ABCD at 123 or test at 123, it's not possible over here. So any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this is for only for India. So this is for India or for some other place as well.
Which one you are talking about? The IVR phishing?
Yeah, we are fishing.
See, it's all about your creativity. See, like I said, wherever you want to put this, like for example, usually we use multi-factor authentication on all our email addresses currently. So we need that particular OTP, the one-time password. Only then I would be authorized to log into that particular application. So you need to get creative over there, like tell them, hey boss, like you should have received a OTP from Gmail account. So obviously no one from Gmail account is going to ask you to cancel that particular OTP, kindly please enter that OTP over here. So this
So
way,
so this will all be text to speech, right, sir? If I'm not wrong.
yes, the voice, the lady's voice, and other thing, these are all text to speech, and these are all embedded, and it comes with video.
Yeah. So I can make a call to a internet. I can make an international call.
Yeah, definitely you can.
Yes, sir.
But however, like it depends on what type of campaign you are going to run, and it depends upon your client requirements, what your company is going to ask.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay.
Okay, is it a part of Go Fishing or it is some separate application?
Yeah, it's a separate application. You can, like, if you are into red team, or you are planning to get into red team. Okay. Yeah, you can see it over here, like IVR phishing framework over here, like we have already did it. So this was done by us.
Thank you.
Sir,
Uh,
in recent times there were something called paste jacking as well. I came through something called as paste jackers. So where we copy and paste a particular text, that will get a backdoor reversal of that whole computer or reverse meterpreter.
okay, we are not quite aware about it. If I am right, like I think like you are trying to fetch the payload from page bin or any place where through the text, like you are trying to execute on the PowerShell.
Yeah, exactly, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That the text is actually like uh, zero steganography, something like that is involved. Zero with steganography.
I am not very much sure currently. Like I'm not very much into very technical things.
Okay, cool, cool.
Any other questions related to this?
No
No, sir.
question. Thank you.
No, sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
so we have Pradipto. Pradipto, can I hand over this session to you now? Hello.
Hello,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, Pradipto.
Cool. I will just give me a second.
All
I
right.
will share my screen. One second. Can you all see my screen, please?
Not yet.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
perfect. Well, thanks a lot, Chandresh and Bella, for the wonderful and very practical and very demo-based presentation, which I guess everybody would like to listen to. I will take just a few minutes. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Pradipto Chakravarti, and I manage the India business for an organization called CompTIA. And we are one of the world's largest vendor-neutral certification development body, and we have partnered with TwinTech Solutions to provide training for our certification programs. So we were very glad to host this webinar today along with TwinTech. It's really a pleasure working with them, with Vela and Chandresh and Kalai ma'am, drive the certification and training business, because whatever you have heard, I really don't know what is your level of skills that you have in cybersecurity. But I'm sure that you will always look at avenues to, and especially at this particular juncture of time, when you would want to actually improve your skills, in cybersecurity and put a structure to your learning. You might listen to a lot of webinars, you might listen to or read a lot of material, but at the end of the day, what how you your skills is basically by taking a structured training and a structured certification program. So I'll quickly go through, like I said, CompTIA is a global certification body. We are headquartered in Chicago, but we have offices across the world, and we partner with many training organizations across the world to deliver the certification training for people who are either entering the IT industry or entering the cybersecurity industry, and so those who further their career within this industry. And as I said, as we speak, we have actually more than 2.5 million certified, CompTIA certified people across the world. And over the period of some time now, we have also developed a uh, very structured career pathway on cybersecurity. And in a couple of slides, I'll explain that. But before that, so one thing that I want to kind of really share with you is that what we do is actually not something that we do. Actually, it is done by people like you, people who are working in industry, who give constant feedback in terms of what should be the curriculum of or a job role within IT, IT, uh, an IT kind of a job role. So what we do is that we work with subject matter experts across the world, and they are the people who actually understand what is happening in the technology world, and therefore consult us in terms of developing content of these certifications and the content material that we develop along with it. Right. The other thing is that we are vendor neutral, which means that we do not focus on any one specific technology, but we basically focus on the core competence. So if you're talking about penetration testing, uh, we will focus on vendor neutral tools or open source tools to deliver the training, which are actually the ask of the industry. Uh, so I would like to spend a few minutes on career pathway. Now, broadly, if you see that CompTIA has got two specific career pathways. One is infrastructure and the other one is cybersecurity. So as you see that we start from something called IT fundamentals, which are basically for people definitely after hearing the questions on this webinar, it's definitely not for people like you because this is basically for people who are new to IT, completely new to IT, does not know anything about information technology, specifically school students or people who are just passed out of school. And then we move on to our jobs, job role specific certifications, which starts from A plus,
I'm
which
sorry,
is
sir.
more of a tech
Sir, your
support.
voice is squeaky.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, it's better now.
So A plus basically,
Pratik, are you sharing your PowerPoint?
yes,
I think like it's not visible over here. I can see your Outlook over here.
very strange.
Uh,
Let me. I'm It's visible. Can you see me now? Can you see it now?
no, no, Pratik.
Not yet,
I
sir.
did the share screen. Just let me do it once again. Do I have to switch on the video to do that?
No, 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 Pradeep. No. What you can do is, do you see a down arrow now? Yeah, again, yeah, it's disconnected. Now you can try sharing your screen. And yeah, yeah, it's visible now.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, it's loud and audible.
And you can see the screen as well. Okay. So I was talking about CompTIA's A plus certification, which is the first job role specific certification from CompTIA. and that is basically the backbone of all certifications. It's kind of a mothership product, and A plus covers. It's basically meant for technical support engineers, your first job role within IT, and that's the kind of skills that A plus covered. Of course, it covers security as well to a large scale, but it also has operating system. And when we do operating system, we cover all operating systems, include Windows, Linux, Android, iOS, and so on and so forth. And then post that we have networking, and then we branch out into the infrastructure pathway, which is Linux, server, and cloud. And after network, actually, we also have the security career track path, which start with Security Plus, which effectively should be the first training and certification that anybody who is interested to get in security should have. It's a practical, hands-on certification and training which covers the entire gamut of the security world, right from understanding the threats, attacks, vulnerabilities to all the way to in identity and access management, cryptography, risk management, and so on and so forth. Post that, we have uh, programs, penetration testing, and the defensive security, which is called CYSA Plus, and the final one, which is CASP or Advanced Security Practitioner. We also have some professional certifications, which are mostly non-technical, project management, fundamentals of cloud, and the technical trainer certification, which is the certified technical trainer. So that basically is our career pathway. And what we say is that find the path for you, or find the entry point for you, depending on your skill, depending on your current job role, depending on what you know right now and where you want to go. And if you go to the CompTIA website, you find a lot of resources which can help you make those career choices. I will spend a few more minutes to actually talk a little bit more deeper into the cybersecurity career pathway. So, like I said, we have core program, which is Security Plus, and at intermediate level, we have got penetration testing, Pen Test Plus, which is on the red team, and then we have got CYSA, which is security analyst on the blue team, and then we have the advanced enterprise security practitioner. So, this is basically the four programs. We have not confused people with a lot of programs within security, but we have focused on these four programs that we feel can take care of some of these skills from, say, somebody who is a new to security, somebody who is about 7 to 10 years of security experience. And this is the career pathway that I was talking about within cybersecurity. There are few interesting points that I wanted to share here. One is that all of these programs, unlike many of programs which are available in the market, are performance driven, which means that when you are taking the certification, there are a certain set of questions which are simulated, and you have to answer those questions to arrive at a result. When you're doing it on the console, you have to basically you can do it. You have to practically demonstrate something to come to an answer. That's point number one. Point number two is that in the name of penetration testing across the market, there is a lot of confusion about ethical hacking, where a lot of people use these two terms interchangeably. And what we have realized is that when you talk to enterprise organizations, they are when they are looking for people, they are not looking for people. They don't term it as ethical hacking, but they talk about penetration testing. And penetration testing is a whole process. And what we teach in the penetration testing certification is the whole process, right from designing an event, right, scoping an event, the legal aspect of that, then actually doing the active and passive reconnaissance, learning how to use the tools. And not only that, once you do the event, how do you report it back to your management is again something many programs do not cover. So it's an end-to-end penetration testing, uh, a practical certification. Similarly, the same thing goes for our defensive security, which is more about forensics, incident response, and vulnerability management. So this actually is something which is a dire necessity for people who want to work on the defensive side, or somebody who wants to work on the SOC side or the security operations center. So the the second point that I wanted to establish is that these programs are very job specific, and they are, like I said, they are practical, and hence the training that TwinTech Solution also gives is very heavy in terms of the uh, practicality of the training, or practical hands-on part of it. You got a little flavor of what Bella and Chandresh just presented. Similarly, when you are doing these courses, you have access to that. We also have virtual labs and other tools that can help you to prepare for the and learn new skill. Uh, and the other thing I wanted to stress at this point of time is that uh, even if even before even because of the COVID-19 situation, it will not stop your learning certification journey, because TwinTech will be able to deliver the training on a virtual environment, on a remote environment. And the certification also, effective 15th of April, can be taken on an online remote operating mechanism. Just a few more slides to cover what these certifications. If you talk about Security Plus, it teaches you install, configure, and check for security issues in host network and database, cloud, and so on and so forth. Risk management. You can do threat analysis, data applications, uh, host security, and then what we talk about is cryptography and AI, which of course is becoming very, very important today with higher topics like blockchain. And this, I would say, is the fundamental of, even if you want to further your career within blockchain and other higher level security domains. Similarly, from a CYSA standpoint, like I said, threat management, vulnerability management, incident response, and using security tools. This is all about the SOC side. And one of the other things that the industry want is that uh, what they want are people who can perform day one when they are hired. That is the essence of CompTIA certifications, and that is where we excel, because all what we teach is very practical and readily demonstrable when you're joining an organization. The usual complaint that we receive from the enterprise is that people are certified in different programs, but they will perform when they are when they join the in terms of pen test plus, like I said, planning, scoping for the activity, gathering of information, and vulnerability identification, right up to understanding the attacks and exploits, using the penetration testing tools, and to prepare reports, also to communicate those reports and findings of the event to your management. And finally, the advanced security practitioner covers risk management, enterprise security. This program is kind of a composition or a combo of both policy side as well as technical side. Having said that, this is basically for people who are more than 5 or 6 years of experience in core security, who have done penetration testing, who have done forensics, and so on and so forth. So at that level, you would want to know something which is policy related, but also you do not want to remove yourself from the technical aspect. So what we did is that created a program which was a combination of both policy level uh, security as well as technical aspects of security. So I will not go more into details. You can find it on our website, www.comptia.org, and you can directly write me at pchakraborty@comptia.org. Uh, at the end, I would like to close with saying many, many thanks to TwinTech and Vedayutham and his team for being our partners and offering world-class training out of their facility in Chennai. And now it does not matter whether you're in Chennai or Delhi or wherever, you can actually deliver these trainings on a or a virtual and a remote environment. Thank you so much, and thanks for your patience.
Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you for explaining CompTIA courses in a well-mannered one. So, guys, if you have any questions regarding these courses, you can contact us anytime. You can Google TwinTech Solutions. So we partnered with CompTIA, and we can provide all the courses, and even we can also guide you in a very successful career when it comes to this information security as well. Uh, that's all from me, guys. Like, if you have any questions or anything, you can leave the feedbacks, and we'll also send all the video recordings as well as the PowerPoint presentations to you in a few hours, or probably you'll be getting in the end of the day.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello. Sir, I'm done with CEH by EC
Okay.
Council.
Okay.
So after that, I'm thinking about doing VAPT, vulnerability
Mhm.
assessment and penetration tester.
Mhm.
So in CompTIA, is CASP is good, or can I go for VAPT? Like, because like CH comes somewhat under intermediate category,
Mhm.
and Pentest Plus is also into intermediate category. So what can I further do? Like maybe OSCP, but OSCP though is really difficult. That's what people tell. So
Mhm.
I want to do a course before doing OSCP.
Okay, so can I answer this question,
Yeah, yeah.
Bala? So you know what? Uh, I don't know your name who's asking the question, but what
That's
I would like,
Purnesh.
Purnesh, yeah. So Purnesh, you know what? I mean, when you go through CEH, my question is, do you really learn APT? The answer in most of the cases is no, because what you learn in CEH is very foundational and just some of the tools that are used, but they don't go into a depth. What I would recommend is, Purnesh, that you should evaluate our pen test plus certification, because if you are looking at a career within penetration testing, of course, OSCP is the gold level. Maybe you are not at this stage, you are not at a situation where you would like to go for an OSCP certification, but pen test plus will cover, CompTIA's pen test plus will cover the entire PAPT learning in a very comprehensive and in-depth manner, which is not the case with CEH. So just by saying that I have done CEH and hence I am a penetration tester, I think that statement is a little, I would not say wrong, but it's like it's a little misquoted. And in case you want to really go ahead and further, even though call it as intermediate level, but if you see the content objectives of our CompTIA Pen Test certification, it has got coverage of the entire scope, like I showed, and that will be your stepping stone to OSCP as you go along. So I would strongly recommend that, even though we say that it is intermediate, but it is basically for somebody who's really wanting to get into the penetration testing world.
Purnesh, I would also
No,
like
it
to
is
add,
not said by me. It is like in
Purnesh,
hello,
actually, yeah,
hello.
Purnesh, am I audible? Purnesh, am I okay?
Yeah,
Purnesh,
hello. Yeah,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
So it
what?
is not said by
Yeah,
me that it is intermediate level, like in
I
CompTIA's
mentioned that.
official
I mentioned that.
website. Yeah, no, in CompTIA's official website itself, it is written CH as intermediate level, because they are having that comparison between
Yes.
uh, the courses in
actually,
CompTIA. So
okay.
I
Yes.
I
Actually,
checked out CompTIA as well before
yeah, yeah, yeah.
joining.
Actually, Purnesh, what I would like to add my point over here is with whatever Pradeep said. See, if you're looking at a professional point of view, I know you want to increase your technical skills is a different thing. But if you're like looking into for example, you want to increase your, I would suggest you to increase your professional skills, because when it comes to CompTIA, people know about how to plan and how to scope and also how to do a team report on a pen test project. That's something like no course I have seen it. I haven't seen it on any other courses. At the same time, when it comes to the report writing, we have also seen like there are certain aspects which are covered, like where team members can specifically cut it down into three parts, and each and every part can be done it. So these are the professional things, and when it comes to the technical things, the difference between the whatever the other courses and the Pinterest Plus is. Have you come across Ruby or Python or scripting languages which were anytime mentioned over here? Because Pentest Plus has it. Because I myself is like I have learned Pentest Plus, or I almost go through it. I just want you to let you know like what exactly Pentest Plus covers over here. So technically, whenever a person signs up compared to CompTIA Pentest Plus, yeah, he will also he has to have a basic knowledge how the scripting languages work, and there are certain topics we have almost like 3 to 4 pages of it where we need to teach the person about the scripting language and how to use it as well. The next question is like okay, yeah, this is what I wanted to say over here when it comes to the technical aspect.
Yeah, so thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got an idea of
yeah,
what it is.
yeah. Anything else, please?
Uh, Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Go on.
Sir, I'm a college student. I just graduated from school and just entered college. And when it comes to the pen testing part, like I am a very beginner and I have no certificate courses, but I know a few knowledge in this course through self learning, completely through internet and the other stuffs on the internet, completely through self learning. Now, my very interest is to pursue a career in pen testing and security field, sir. Where can I start with? If I am going to start in the right path and I need to get into the right destination, where will be the perfect location for me to start with?
Okay. Oh, like Pradipto showed you the roadmap over here. Like if you had looked at it like from the network plus, and then you have to like go to the security plus, and then pen test or CYSA or CASSP. That's how like you need to follow the CompTIA cybersecurity career path. That will help you more in the future. For example, like you have very little knowledge when it comes to the network. Sir, I am self-taught, but I don't know each and everything when it comes to network. The reason why we are pressing under the networks is Chandresh over here is very good at networks. He knows how to pivot within the networks. That's like lateral movements within the networks. So if you are able to follow this particular cyber security career path, like you should be very good to go. So
I
it
think
depends.
I think
Yeah.
Mukundan, to begin with, security plus, since you are in the college right now, I think, even if you learn penetration testing, your first job would be security administrator, and that is what security plus covers. And obviously, before you go to pen test plus, we would recommend that you should get certified in security plus. I would not say network plus, because from what I hear from you, it looks like you are quite savvy in terms of technology. So networking you
Exactly, sir.
can understand on your own, but security plus should be your first entry point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir. I really got a very good idea, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Uh, okay. Okay, I think it's almost like the more than 20 minutes. Okay. So let's wind up. Thank you, Pradipto. Thank you for joining us.
Sir, I have a question.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Yeah, before that, hello everyone. Sorry, the voice was breaking, so I was not able to hear properly. So as you informed us, as we have discussed about IVR phishing, so I just wanted to know like what all the safeguards are there for IVR phishing, because most of the time we use it in resetting our ATM password in, and in I have seen as in organization also we used to like we most of the time we use this IVR phishing. So what all the safeguards we can use it?
Currently now, okay. first line of defense would be the cybersecurity awareness training, like not to give any information. Obviously, like the India is not going to call you back. That's one thing. And but however, we haven't come up across any technically any specific rules. Like for example, phishing, we would be able to tell you how to defend this particular attack. But for the IVR, we haven't come up with it. But however, what organizations tend to do, the telecommunication providers, what they tend to do is they use certain words the to filter out certain malicious things. So uh, we don't have a mitigation plan against the idea except the cybersecurity awareness.
Okay, okay, so. Sir, one more thing, just like I'm curious about it, so I just wanted to know if you have any idea. So like most of the time, as I have seen in my family and in my office also, my most of the colleague have got affected of this. Like most of the time, we used to get some of the fraud calls for phone pay or Paytm or Google Pay, and they used to say about just log in into your app and whatever they used to guide, and after that what all the needful information they required, they used to get it, and after some time we used to get some of the message that some of the amount has been withdrawn from our account. So sir, like do you have any idea how we can identify this and we can save ourselves from this?
Okay, this is a trick question. Even again, awareness is the main thing. Then the another thing is whenever you need to be very sensitive of what the information you are going to give, what information you are going to share. So again, it basically goes back to awareness. So even someone is very convincing, he wants to get the minute they are going to someone is going to call you and ask you for your password or your email address, give me this, give me the PAN number, give me this particular the sensitive information. I would suggest
Yeah.
you not to give it right away. You can tell them, please disconnect this call. Like I'll walk up to the office and come up and give it to you, or else give me your email address. So at that point of time, you can check their email address whether it is originating to the main domain name. So that way you can identify it.
Okay, okay, so.
Because when it comes to social engineering attacks, each and everyone would be recommending you only one thing, that would be like cybersecurity awareness. That is the reason governments and all the organizations, each and everyone try to do the awareness over here.
Yeah,
Because
sir, but most of the time people used to do this mistake.
exactly, because there is a saying humans are the weakest link in the cybersecurity.
Correct, sir. Okay, sir. Thank thank you, everyone.
Okay. Uh,
I am just curious to know about the this video recording. Where are we going to have an email for that, or like where we can download the session
uh,
recording?
we will be
Yes, we will
sending.
be providing you the recordings to your email addresses.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you everyone.
Yeah, I would just like to share the bundle details to participants so that they will be getting an idea.
So would you be sending the details to all the people who have joined, or who have received the invitation, or only the people who have attended the session? Because I have attended from my official ID, and I have joined the session, the invitation from my personal ID. So would that be okay?
Okay, we will be sending to the people who are registered with us. So you can just send your email address in the chat. So we'll just take a note of it and we'll share the details.
Chat is disabled for me, but that's okay. Like I have registered from my personal account, so I'll receive that email.
Yes.
Okay, Kalai and Bella,
Yes.
thank you very much for the time and the effort to do this webinar along with CompTIA. And I look forward to many more sessions like this. And also, in case anyone of your uh, students or your people who are registered with you have any question regarding CompTIA, please feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pravito. Thank you for your valuable time in the busy schedule.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.